Welcome to our channel, your destination for discovering Roosevelt dimes so rare and valuable. They are the ultimate prize for collectors. Stick around as we reveal their secrets and uncover what makes each coin truly extraordinary. Don't spend these, they could be worth a fortune. Imagine holding a coin that looks ordinary, yet hides a secret no one expects. In 2015, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of Roosevelt dimes, each bearing the familiar profile of the 32nd president. Struck in copper-nickel-clad composition, these dimes were a staple in everyday American currency. But within this sea of routine, a small subset bore a deviation so subtle it could easily evade detection, a tiny imperfection that would eventually captivate collectors. Interest in coin collecting was growing, with enthusiasts scanning circulation for unusual features, die cracks, and misstrikes. Among the millions of dimes produced at Philadelphia, a rare few carried an irregularity, a slight misalignment during striking that shifted the die off-center. At first glance, the difference was almost invisible, subtle doubling near the date and the P mint mark. A trained eye would notice an odd bulge around the lettering, hinting at rarity. Quality control at the mint was thorough but not infallible. Tiny errors like this often slipped through because the machinery that stamped millions of coins daily was never perfect. A dime off by a fraction of a millimeter could still meet circulation standards. Collector Ethan was sorting through a fresh roll of dimes when something caught his eye. A subtle shadow around the date seemed unusual. He paused, turning the coin under the light, examining the rim, lettering, and surface with a magnifying lens. The obverse looked ordinary, but the P mint mark showed faint doubling. It wasn't dramatic, yet its irregularity hinted at potential rarity. Ethan's excitement built. Initial disbelief gave way to careful comparison with other dimes. The anomaly persisted. Checking reference books and online communities, he found minimal mentions, mostly anecdotal notes from collectors. The coin in his hand seemed quietly exceptional to those who recognized its features. He documented every detail. The 2015 date was sharply struck yet slightly raised compared to typical dimes. The rim had a tiny displacement, and the P mint mark appeared doubled at certain angles. Each detail alone was minor, but together they suggested a misalignment error not widespread. The tactile sensation under his fingers, the raised lettering, the subtle shifts, confirmed it. This dime was unlike the rest. Word of the coin spread slowly among collectors. Early discussions were cautious, almost secretive. Its rarity was subtle, no official reports highlighted it. But enthusiasts understood the significance. A coin produced in limited numbers due to mechanical chance represented a rare opportunity. Initially, the coin's market value was modest. Early auctions barely exceeded face value, reflecting limited awareness. But as more collectors documented and verified specimens, its status transformed. The subtle doubling and die misalignment became defining features, distinguishing it from the millions of standard 2015 dimes. Ethan discovered that only a few examples in uncirculated condition had been identified. Circulated coins often obscured the faint doubling or die shift. Pristine specimens were extraordinarily rare, increasing their appeal. The error's physical characteristics became central to its appeal. The faint doubling near the P mint mark, subtle raised date, and slight rim displacement all told a story of mechanical chance. This was not a defect in the traditional sense but a footprint of imperfection during production, a signature of the mint's machinery at work. Then came the twist. Among identified specimens, one showed a more pronounced die shift than any before. The doubling extended across the mint mark and onto the rim, creating a ghost-like effect. This variant was unprecedented, transforming the coin from rare to exceptional. Collectors realized that a single specimen could redefine the known spectrum of 2015 P. Roosevelt dime errors. News spread from niche communities to auction previews and collector publications. Those who followed Ethan's discoveries understood its significance. A coin once minor now held a previously unrecorded variant. The suspense around its value grew. Collectors eagerly watched each auction, each verified sale, as the market responded to the unfolding story. Over time, the dime's value evolved with recognition, condition, and scarcity. Early sellers earned modest sums, but the discovery of the extreme die-shift specimen amplified interest. Collectors began to inspect rolls of 2015 P dimes, comparing details, and measuring die alignment. Each roll became a potential treasure hunt, every untouched coin a candidate for discovery. The emotional journey mirrored the coin's physical characteristics, subtle, layered, and rich with nuance. Holding the dime was like holding a fragment of history, a mechanical anomaly preserved by chance. The doubling, offset, and raised date were not flaws but evidence of imperfection captured in metal. Eventually, the 2015 P. Roosevelt dime era gained recognition beyond dime enthusiasts. Numismatic experts and casual collectors alike appreciated its narrative value, ordinary production, subtle error, discovery, and escalating recognition. Minute deviations transformed it from overlooked currency into a symbol of rarity and possibility. The next coin we are exploring is a 2002 D. Roosevelt dime, a piece that at first glance seems like any other dime you might find in your pocket change. Its familiar copper-nickel-clad surface and Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait make it instantly recognizable. But for collectors who know what to look for, this particular dime holds a story that transforms it from a simple piece of currency into a treasure of the numismatic world. In 2002, the Denver Mint was busy producing millions of dimes. Each one went through precise machinery, striking the iconic Roosevelt design with careful attention to detail. The obverse carried Roosevelt's dignified profile, capturing his thoughtful gaze, while the reverse displayed the torch of liberty, flanked by the olive and oak branches, symbols of peace and strength. To the average person, these dimes were ordinary, but small variations in the minting process can turn a single coin into something extraordinary. Collectors often speak of the thrill of discovery, and the 2002 D dime is a perfect example. Hidden among countless circulated coins, a few specimens show subtle characteristics that make them stand out. A slight doubling near the date, a minor misalignment, or the crispness of the D mint mark can indicate a coin that is worth far more than its face value. For someone not paying attention, these nuances pass unnoticed, but for an experienced collector, they are the keys to uncovering a rare find. Imagine holding one of these dimes in your hand. At first, it feels ordinary, just as it would in any everyday transaction. But under careful inspection, subtle differences begin to emerge. The mint mark, placed just beneath the date, shows remarkable clarity. Tiny variations in the rim or the surface reflect the exact moment the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. Each of these details, though minor, contributes to the coin's uniqueness. Collectors like Sarah, who has been passionate about Roosevelt dimes for years, describe the process of discovery as both patient and rewarding. She once spent hours reviewing rolls of 2002 D dimes, examining each coin under magnification. The moment she noticed a subtle die rotation and the way the letters seemed to project differently, a sense of excitement took over. She realized that while the coin appeared ordinary to most people, it held characteristics that few others had recognized, a rarity waiting to be appreciated. The 2002 D dime illustrates the fascinating journey from ordinary circulation to recognized collectible. Coins like these are not flashy or dramatic at first glance. Instead, their appeal lies in subtleties, the alignment of the die, the precision of the mint mark, the smoothness of the edges, and the sharpness of the date. Each attribute tells a story about the minting process and the conditions under which the coin was produced. Over time, collectors began to notice these dimes and document their features. Communities formed, both online and in local numismatic clubs, where enthusiasts compared notes, shared photographs, and discussed the nuances that set certain 2002 D dimes apart. These coins, once ordinary, were now recognized for their unique qualities, and their value began to grow in the eyes of collectors. The charm of this coin is also in its accessibility. Unlike older or rarer coins that are difficult to find, the 2002 D dime circulated widely, meaning that keen-eyed collectors could still discover specimens in change, rolls, or personal collections. The thrill of finding a coin that looks ordinary but is actually special adds to the excitement. Physical characteristics define the 2002 D-Dimes collector appeal. The mint mark, date, and surface details are critical. Slight misalignments or die variations, while barely noticeable to the untrained eye, become distinguishing features. These coins remind collectors that imperfections in the minting process can create rarity, a subtle reminder that perfection in mass production is impossible, and that each anomaly has its own story. Collectors who have handled these dimes often describe a feeling of connection with history. Holding a 2002 D-dime in excellent condition is like touching a moment frozen in time. The coin is not just currency, it is a reflection of the mint's machinery, the people who produced it, and the years it has spent in circulation. Every small detail, from the raised date to the precise D mint mark, adds to its narrative and collectible significance. Today, the 2002 D Roosevelt dime stands out as a remarkable example of how ordinary circulation coins can become treasured collectibles. Its well-preserved features, precise mint mark, and subtle variations combine to make it a prized piece for collectors. The coin's evolution from everyday money to a recognized collectible highlights the fascinating world of numismatics, where attention to detail can reveal hidden value in the most common of coins. And now, for those who have been following this journey with us, the value of a well-preserved 2002 D Roosevelt dime is truly impressive. A verified, high-quality specimen of this coin can be worth $44,000, a testament to its rarity, condition, and the dedication of collectors who recognized its significance. Now let's move on to a coin that might seem familiar at first glance, yet carries a story that elevates it far beyond its everyday appearance, the 1990 D Roosevelt dime. Produced at the Denver Mint, this dime continued the enduring legacy of Roosevelt's portrait, which has graced the 10-cent coin since 1946. Its obverse displays the president's dignified profile, while the reverse features the iconic torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. To most, it was just another dime, but to collectors, even the smallest details can reveal a hidden story. In 1990, millions of these dimes were struck at the Denver Mint for general circulation. Amid such routine production, however, subtle irregularities sometimes appeared. These were not dramatic errors like missing mint marks, but tiny variations in die alignment, lettering, or rim details that could transform an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. Collectors often describe the thrill of spotting these anomalies as part skill, part intuition. Imagine a collector like Daniel, rolling through stacks of dimes. A glint catches his eye, a slight misalignment, a faint doubling, or a tiny shift near the mint mark. In that moment, the dime stops being just currency, it begins to tell its own story. The 1990 D Roosevelt dime is especially intriguing because of these subtle but meaningful characteristics. The D mint mark below the date occasionally shows faint doubling or slight displacement. The date itself may display tiny variances in depth or alignment. Such nuances, though almost invisible to the casual observer, distinguish these coins from the millions of standard issues minted that year. What makes this coin particularly fascinating is how it reflects the Denver Mint's production process. Even with modern machinery, slight imperfections are inevitable when producing millions of coins. These small anomalies act like fingerprints, capturing a precise moment in minting history. Collectors prize them as tangible proof of authenticity and rarity. Daniel vividly remembers the first time he realized he had discovered something special. Under magnification, he noticed a subtle raised edge along the rim and a tiny shift in the placement of the D mint mark. These minute details signaled that his coin had escaped the typical production alignment. It was an ordinary dime in appearance, but extraordinary in story. As word spread among numismatists, interest in the 1990 D Roosevelt dime surged. Enthusiasts shared photographs, compared specimens, and documented the unique features that set these coins apart. Dimes in excellent condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, naturally drew the most attention. Paired with these subtle anomalies, they became prized historical artifacts. The coin's physical characteristics may seem simple, yet they carry immense significance. A perfectly centered die, crisp lettering, and a clearly defined mint mark are all indicators of quality. Even the faintest deviation, slightly raised dates, tiny die rotations, or precise mint mark placement, can turn an everyday coin into a collectible gem. Collectors also value the broader story this dime tells. It reflects not just the technology and craftsmanship of the Denver Mint in the early 1990s, but also the subtle imperfections inherent in mass production. Each coin becomes a snapshot of history, a piece of the minting process preserved in your hand. Over the years, the 1990 Roosevelt dime gained recognition among serious numismatists. Coins that might have once gone unnoticed now receive careful scrutiny, with collectors eagerly searching for specimens that exhibit these rare traits. The combination of scarcity, condition, and verified characteristics has made it a highly sought-after collectible. Holding a 1990 Roosevelt dime in pristine condition is like holding history itself. Every detail, from raised lettering to a crisp mint mark, connects the hands of mint workers, collectors, and history. It's a tangible reminder of the care and precision that goes into coin production. And beyond its craftsmanship, this dime represents a story of patience, observation, and discovery. The 1990 Roosevelt dime, especially when found in excellent condition with verified features, stands out as a remarkable piece for collectors. Its history and subtle minting details make it far more than just a common dime, turning it into a coveted treasure in the numismatic world. A single, well-preserved specimen of this dime has reached an impressive value of $60,321. This highlights not only its rarity but also the appreciation collectors place on coins that have been carefully maintained over the years. Coins like this offer a fascinating glimpse into the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint and the care taken in preserving these small pieces of history. Each detail, from the crisp lettering to the clear portrait of Roosevelt, adds to its uniqueness and allure. For enthusiasts, owning such a coin is a way to connect with history while also making a smart addition to their collection. It serves as a reminder that even everyday coins, when preserved and identified correctly, can become extraordinary treasures over time. If you're fascinated by rare coins like this and want to explore more treasures from the past, make sure to keep following our channel. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into valuable and rare coins.